All right, y'all. So with the current state of AI and the effect that it's having on the job market, today we're going to watch a video about, has AI made a college degree obsolete? Let's take a look.
On May 16th, 2025, I woke up and was ready to get into my graduation gown for the day of celebration of Villanova's graduation ceremony. My family and friends came from pretty much across the country to see me walk across the stage and receive my diploma.
Michael, Sean, Matthias.
Yeah, Michael!
I was really on top of the world, super excited to finally have the diploma that shows my hard work over those 4 years. I was super excited to apply those skills to the job market, to an employer, and finally be an independent adult. Flash forward a couple months into the job search, it's been a little demoralizing. The job market has been very tough, especially for the new grads. I have been on my job search since November 2024. I've been applying anywhere and everywhere, and it has been a little difficult to even get to the initial interviews that I want to get to.
The job market is kind of trash right now. I mean, it's really difficult. It's really difficult for people who have many years of experience. So it's going to be difficult for college kids.
The rise of youth unemployment is worrisome. For the individual worker, we can see that graduating in a recession leaves long-lasting scars for decades after.
These workers are a vital part of the labor market. And if they're having a hard time, that means that the economy could have a hard time.
For the broader economy, these youth workers might be early indicators that the overall economy is slowing down or maybe even heading towards a recession.
For the first time in modern history, a bachelor degree is no longer a reliable path to professional employment.
In my opinion, I feel like a college degree has been overrated for a very long time. I can't remember a time where just having a college degree guaranteed you a job. You know, I don't ever remember that really being a thing. I know a lot of people made it seem that way. A lot of people that I know that went to college, they went not even really knowing what they wanted to do. They just went kind of with that same expectation that they needed to go and it would be valuable for them to get a job. But a lot of people don't even work in the field that they chose to pursue a degree in. Honestly, y'all let me know though. What do y'all think about a college degree in today's world? Is it a little bit overrated? Is it really still useful at all? Because I mean, I personally just don't see the value. You get student loan debt for years and years and years that you got to pay off. I mean, the overall college experience seems like it would be cool to just go through that. Maybe you have some great connection that you make going through college, but just the education, the degree, I don't know if it's worth it, in my opinion.
If you look at the overall labor market, it's still doing strong. Unemployment rates in general are still fairly low. But then when you zoom in on the young workers, they seem to be struggling.
The unemployment rate among young U.S. workers aged 16 to 24 stood at 10.4% in September. It's generally been trending upward since April 2023, when it dipped to the lowest point since the pandemic.
And in particular, there's been a worrisome rise in unemployment rates among recent college graduates. Usually we think of those as being some of the safest workers in our economy, but that pattern seems to be flipping right now.
I think that is because two factors. One is the supply of workers with a bachelor degree is increasing, but at the same time, partly because of AI, the demand for workers with a bachelor degree is not increasing anymore. So we have a glut of people with a bachelor degree. Their wage growth is growing more slowly, and with AI continuing to automate more and more jobs, I expect that the trend to continue.
Artificial intelligence has allowed some corporate giants to hire fewer workers, and some have even begun shrinking their workforces as they integrate more automation. Goldman Sachs says it could displace 6 to 7% of the U.S. workforce over the next decade. Young workers are feeling AI's impact the most. A Stanford study finds that since 2022, unemployment for 22 to 25-year-olds in highly AI-exposed jobs has dropped 13%, while older workers and those in less exposed roles remain steady or growing.
I think AI...
All I can see that. I can see that. But what's crazy is since I've been looking into AI and really doing AI videos, a lot of people in the comments seem to think that AI isn't really affecting jobs that much. But on the other side, right, I'm seeing, whether it's these articles or videos and statistics talking about all these AI layoffs that are happening that would say otherwise. So what do y'all think? From my point of view, it doesn't seem like there's many jobs that are really hiring like that. You know what I mean? I hear about a lot of these layoffs and I can kind of see it, but I don't know. Maybe people out there are having a different experience than me. I feel like if you have a job, man, just keep that shit. Don't even be trying to find different jobs in different companies and things like that. If you got one, man, keep that shit, because you never know. You never know, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think.
AI and machine learning is absolutely taking entry-level careers from new graduates like myself. From a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. You get something that can produce results a lot quicker. I really can't blame employers for making those steps, in my mind, the right direction to save money, cut costs. But it's a little frustrating from my standpoint because I'm looking for a full-time career somewhere to really put my skills to work.
Right, but is it the right direction though, honestly? Because how is that going to benefit the economy when these people who just spent money on their student loans and going to get this degree can't even find work? They can't even become contributing members into the economy because they can't get a job. So I get companies are all about profit, but long term, I can't see how AI taking jobs is overall positive in any way.
Especially for larger corporations that are trying to go through AI transformation. Some of it could be tied to AI from a perspective of they're trying to let go of people in other departments so that they can invest more in AI. But at the same time, I think what's also happening is the AI systems that can write code, especially at junior level, has gotten really good. And because of that, we are already seeing, especially in tech companies, there's the need for a number of junior engineers has gotten lower.
That makes sense. Because even using things like GitHub Copilot, if you already understand how to code, using Copilot to learn a different language, right? If you understand the fundamentals of how to code, Copilot can really guide you into learning a new language or figuring out new methods that you can use in whatever code that you're trying to write. So where you may need junior developers before, the addition of those AI tools to go alongside developers, I think is a massive benefit and makes them a lot more efficient. But from what I've seen, the code that it produces isn't always just ready to go. You know what I mean? There's a lot of errors that I've seen using Copilot to where I'm like, I can't really say that it's that good. I don't necessarily know what program he was talking about using, but I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Is there programs out there that's just that good at writing code where you can just type in what you want it to do and it gives you ready to use code with no bug, nothing that you have to fix?
The Federal Reserve has also taken notice.
You see a significant number of companies either announcing that they are not going to be doing much hiring or actually doing layoffs. Much of the time they're talking about AI and what it can do. So we're watching that very carefully.
But there is another element here, which is more and more young people are going to college and at a much higher rate than the baby boomers who are now retiring. So what's happening is that the workforce is becoming more and more educated over time. And perhaps to the degree that we have a glut of college grads,
AI might be having a little bit of impact. But I think right now, what's really driving a lot of this youth unemployment is the fact that businesses just in general are not bringing on new workers. And so whether you're unemployed or whether you're trying to get in the labor market for the first time, right now is a really difficult time to find a job.
But why? Why are they not bringing on new workers if it's not because of AI?
Just a few years ago, many companies, especially tech firms, went on a hiring spree during the pandemic era. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Amazon's workforce ballooned to 1.6 million employees globally in 2021. By 2024, the count had shrunk to 1.5 million, and 2025 is no stranger to layoffs.
Amazon saying this morning it's going to lay off about 14,000 corporate employees as it restructures for the AI era, marking the latest move in a multi-year effort to streamline operations and shift resources toward its biggest bets, including generative AI.
Experts are divided on whether COVID-19 hiring sprees are behind the current layoffs.
Overhiring they did in the COVID era when they didn't actually need to. The results of that are being seen now. So correlation doesn't imply causation. Like it's not because of AI that people are losing jobs. In fact, because of AI, we see a lot more empowerment in people. Like small business owners are able to take advantage of AI and build amazing companies.
We should.
So from his perspective, he's coming at it from the business owner perspective. That's interesting insight that a lot of these big companies maybe just overhired during COVID and now are using AI as an excuse to kind of cut costs and get in line with what they actually need. And, you know, it kind of makes sense because during that time, there was a lot of people, you know, getting into these companies talking about how much money they're making. I remember we used to see, what was it? I think it was Twitter, where people would make videos just talking about how they just can go and take a nap during their work day, and then Elon Musk came and just fired all of them after a couple of years or something like that when he took over and made it X. So yeah, maybe it's just a result of just the overhiring.
Probably not use this argument much anymore. It's been a long time. I think if there was overhiring, it's already been adjusted in 23, 24. We are now November 25. I think it's no longer a big impact. But I would say that the period of strong labor shortages that we had in 21, 22, 23, I think it forced companies, even without AI or not taking AI out of the story here, it just forced companies, this severe labor shortage, to learn how to do things with fewer people. And that may be another factor that is impacting the labor market conditions now.
Not only are young workers finding it difficult to enter the job market, but the young professional workforce is also shrinking. A recent study by compensation platform Pave finds that between January 2023 and July 2025, the number of young workers at large public technology companies fell by more than half. Private technology companies also saw a decline.
The impact that this rising youth unemployment rate could have, you start playing this out over the course of years and you say, if these workers have a hard time getting into jobs now, that impacts spending, right? That impacts them going out, buying things. That also impacts like their earning capabilities, money going into taxes, which ultimately impacts government spending as well, right? And so you start to add these things together and it really can lead to further widening in income inequality.
Economic inequality in the U.S. is getting worse. The new Oxfam report shows that between 1989 and 2022, the top 1% gained about 101 times more wealth than the median household.
It's crazy.
We will see a much higher inequality. It's a problem today, and it will be an even bigger problem in the future. It will be a problem that will have political consequences. I think what will eventually happen is that there will be growing demand for income redistribution.
If you have increasing unemployment rates, especially among young workers, it might leave some with being dissatisfied with the current economy and political climate that could have some implications for, in general, the political debate.
And so we need to really...
So what do y'all think that would look like? Like, imagine the economy just continues to get worse. People can't get jobs. And whether it's because of AI or just companies have found a way to become more streamlined and they don't need to hire as many people. What does that look like? They talk about income redistribution. Would that mean half the population is on government assistance or something like that and just gets a monthly check? Like, what does that look like?
Be thinking about, how do we make sure that we're taking care of this right now, because it could have big spending, big economic implications down the road.
The job market is challenging for young workers as many entry-level positions, a launchpad for new graduates, are disappearing. At the same time, however, Handshake, a career site for college students and recent grads, reports that employers are increasingly seeking entry-level hires who are fluent in AI.
We're actually seeing from companies is an increase in desire for early talent to have AI skills. So we've actually seen a 5x increase in our job postings since 2023 that list AI skills as part of the job requirements or qualifications. And even on internships, it's been a 4x increase in that same amount of time.
I've seen that as well, and it's looking like in these job postings they're looking for people that are experienced with just prompting AI to do certain things, because they're trying to either develop a product that is going to use prompts, an AI product, or they have, software or an AI that goes alongside of their product that they can use for coding or just testing. They have AI to assist with their workload.
So employers are interested in early talent that is familiar and comfortable using AI. They do expect that early talent will be able to use AI in their functional roles and that they will know how to balance both their expertise and knowledge as well as productivity and efficiency.
I think especially the younger workforce should realize that this AI is starting to automate a lot of stuff. AI started to augment a lot of stuff. So learning how to use the tools will make them stand out when they are applying for jobs. Like knowing how to prompt better, knowing how to use multiple Gen AI systems if needed, where some Gen AI systems are good for certain kind of tasks. Knowing about all of these and having that literacy to be able to do different tasks better in a more efficient way because they've just become more learned on AI tools will allow them to stand out.
We should not be afraid of AI. We should actually be embracing AI for all of the places that it can help. And what it doesn't replace is really smart, creative people. And we see that all across the board.
In today's AI-driven workforce, some career experts also emphasize the importance of networking in navigating the job market.
First and foremost, if you're someone who's graduating right now and you haven't done internships while you've been in school, if you haven't been working on building connections with people who are in the professional working world, you need to hurry up and get on that, because the number one thing you can do to separate yourself from the pack is to have those relationships,
100%.
to have someone who remembers you, who had a good experience working with you as an intern and who wants to see you succeed. And I don't ever want to undervalue or underestimate the power of those personal connections.
I have a lot of hope going forward for the job market. I'm a little bit of an optimist in that sense. I think, hard times create strong people. And I think this is just a little bit of a difficult time for those new graduates. And ultimately, those new graduates are going to become stronger people. And I think they will not take their jobs for granted in the future. And I think it will ultimately make a stronger return.
Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Especially with this current job market. Do y'all think a degree is even necessary still? Personally, I don't, depending on the job that you're trying to get. I think these companies are valuing a degree less and less, and they're just looking more so for proof of you being able to do your job. Whether that's having a portfolio where you've worked on certain projects, you've had experience going through internships, and ultimately, it ain't always what you know, it's who you know. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I'll see y'all in the next one.